We've vanquished our enemies. What else could we do wrong? This week on The Hapless Heroes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to an episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco. I'm going to be your host tonight as we kind of do let's just call it a Where Are They Now? Our illustrious heroes, as you know, as we last left them, appeared to have forged a new future for themselves and for maybe all of everything that lives in the universe. And they all stepped through a portal, and we kind of just want to check in on them. Some time may have passed. It may or may not be clear, but we're just gonna drop in on where each of them ended up and see what they're up to now as we bring our campaign to a close. So first, I'm just gonna go ahead and introduce my wonderful cast that I have tonight. I have on to my virtual left, Dave playing. We're gonna go with Zero, absolute integer Zero.
Good evening, everyone.
Mike is Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
Finally at my service.
Nicole is Boris the Butcher.
My heart feels so big.
Zach is Peridot Lincoln Woods and maybe Pregnart.
Hello.
I'll probably be here. I think I'll be here. I'm here.
And John is Lord Jarrell the Light and most likely Dr. Dedu as well.
Come on, Vecna. Lalak's phylactery isn't going to destroy itself.
All right. I'd like to start by cutting the camera to a little place that we've likened to calling Ool. We're going to go from a wide angle shot, sort of above the city, right? Bird's eye view, eagle's eye view, or whatever. This city looks like Ool, right? In that same sort of circular city, but there is, a gigantic chasm that stretches across the middle of the city that separates it.
Oh yeah, what happened? What's going on here?
It looks like we happened.
Looks like Ool. Smells like Ool.
However, you can see that at this point, in whatever time we're dropping in here now, a lot has been rebuilt. There have been essentially bridges constructed through this chasm. It looks like water is starting to be pumped into it to sort of create a man-made river of sorts.
Oh, right. Wait, can I just clarify from... It's not the crater Ool. It's not crater Ool, it's chasm Ool.
It's Ool, the city with a gigantic, essentially
Right.
ravine now that is like splitting the city in half.
Ool as we last left
Wait,
it. But
what year is it?
Who knows?
Question mark.
All right.
Some time has passed.
Is there
Reconstruction.
can I
just narrate?
Is there a calendar up on the wall somewhere? Do I have passive perception?
No, not yet.
as
You do
a-
not.
as a
You
voice?
are just you are a passive observer right now, so you can't ask these questions. I'm sorry.
Are you saying without a character, I can't have passive perception? That seems unfair.
That is correct. Yes.
All right, continue.
Thanks. As I was saying, reconstruction efforts are well underway at this point. Like I said, bridges have been built now over this huge like ravine, I'm just going to call it, right? That splits the city, and it looks like they're sort of building around it now, and the landscape itself, like you can see that ravine or like that break in the earth like stretches for miles from when the ley line went ring-like. And as the camera, heads down towards the center of the city, towards where the tower is, we're going to reach the street level, and the camera is going to pan up slightly, and the ley line is still a ring that is encircling the planet in space.
All right, we never fixed that.
Cutting to a classroom somewhere within the tower, Boris sits with Filbert. They're practicing cantrips, it looks like. Boris, what cantrip would you be learning right now as a fledgling student of the tower?
So Boris has a glass in front of her tipped over on its side. And next to the tipped over glass, there's a tiny little water puppy kind of sloshing around, occasionally falling back into water, but attempting to, puppy up.
What's a water puppy?
A water
out of
puppy
water.
would be a shape water attempt made by Boris.
Hmm.
Pregnart would be proud.
I would be.
Filbert, is giving you some different instructions or tips. The instructor in the classroom is moving around to the different seats and things like that. But it's it's getting close to the end of the class time, right? The quote unquote bell will be ringing any moment now. You keep playing with it, but you still can't get it quite right. The puppy looks very deformed. You're having a hard time getting the water to maintain its shape, right? Magic is something you are a gal of many talents, Boris, but magic is still something that's sort of eluded you throughout your illustrious career. And so, you're sort of at your humble beginnings now, trying to learn the ways of magic. Filbert says to you, he's like, hey, what are you doing after class? You want to go grab a bite to eat? I heard there's this great new noodle shop opening in town.
Boris lets the water go, so it just splashes all over the desk, in its own spot where it was, and says, anyway, so I left him in charge of the bubblegum factory, but yeah, I just need to go ask my dad first.
Oh, right, yeah, the bubblegum factory. I keep forgetting, you own this little business now. I'm surprised you're even here trying to learn magic. You have everything you could possibly need.
Boris elbows him in the side and says, yeah, but this is more fun.
Oh, that's cool. Well, okay, I guess come find me. I'll be at home if you want to hang out or whatever. Just you know where to find me.
Yeah, I definitely want some noodles.
The bell rings. Students start packing up their stuff. The teacher starts, giving instructions for, homework. Just some different, wrist movements with your wand to be able to, control these things a bit better. But you're let out from class. And Filbert says, "So you said you're going to go see your dad?"
Yeah, I'm just gonna check in with him. I'll come find you after.
All right. Yeah. See you in a little bit. Where do you go?
Boris returns to what was previously known as the Garden Inn in a former life, but is now a very fancy estate.
Okay.
She throws a random jewel to the doorman on her way in.
Yes. What was? Hold on. What's Boris's actual last name? I don't think we ever established this, and I want to just get this in canon now in the very last sort of episode.
I mean, I established it as Bubblegum at one point. It's listed as Boris Bubblegum in my own notes here, I believe.
Okay, fantastic. Miss Bubblegum, a pleasure to see you as always. Please come.
I thought it was Morris.
Boris Morris.
Damn it should have been.
Boris Morris is trash.
Hearing a lot of comments from the peanut gallery here when you should be just watching this.
I don't know who said that. Somebody just snuck in to my room here and said that into my mic. And they sounded just like me. It was really strange.
Boris, you start where you start heading upstairs, or you start heading to your room, or where are you just kind of going to check in, or where would you be heading right now?
Yeah, Boris heads in and she starts heading upstairs to what was previously the penthouse and is now just kind of set up as an artist's suite, kind of hobby area. And as she's heading upstairs, she can hear music.
Yep, the door's closed and there's some music happening.
Yeah, she doesn't want to disturb anyone, so she stealthily makes her way up the stairs until she can hear what's happening through the door.
What do you hear through the door, I wonder?
a delightfully accentuated instrumental
Yay.
introduces
What? Whose voice do I hear?
the sultry tones of a familiar face, bathed in afternoon sunlight, begins to carry down the hall. There's some heroes I know, and wherever they go, they'll be flying an airship through heaven. Wayward winds catch the sails by a captain of tales, with a heart as great as his ego.
Thanks.
Ooh, he's flying an airship through heaven. There's a smith by the forge with a fetish for swords. You can tell by the names they've been given. And the knight with the cause, divine smites drew applause from a goddess through which he's arisen. Oh, it makes me wonder. Oh, makes me wonder. There's a feeling I get when Warforged roll a crit, like the science of spells from a changeling. In our travels I've seen a baroness in her teens, with a wit as sharp as her daggers. Ooh, it's a wonder. There's a McGuggle in the galley, beware the truffles. He has no concept of hygiene. Yes, there's a wizard who's a doctor, Aarakocra, honking his spells as he flaps his wings. Ooh, and as the story doth unfold, adventure greets those who are bold. There is a bard who we all know, who will inspire and wants to show. Not every quest is about gold, but if the heroes heed the call, though they may rise or they may fall, so take a chance and play the role, and you may fly your airship through heaven.
Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer, everybody. Yeah, come on, let's hear it for him. All right, yeah.
Encore.
The ideal Hedrick.
Hell yeah.
Welcome back, Phil.
Welcome back, Phil.
Oh, Boris, is that you?
Hi, Dad. Yeah, it's me.
How are your lessons today?
The water was mostly water, but it kind of looked like a dog for a bit.
Well, that's great. That's great to hear. Well, I must have tied one on last night. I didn't wake up till this afternoon. I woke up with this. And he lifts up his tunic, and you can see his nipple is pierced with a little anchor. And he's like, well, I found this in my pocket. And he pulls out this little note that says, Nipple Twins Southwind? The question mark?
Nice.
Probably not.
Does he do the voice?
We are the nipple twins.
Oh my god.
Zach, that was fucking unhinged. I'm sorry. Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't contain it. You were like, hang on, Zach, what are you fucking off about? Why are you laughing? And I was like, oh, you'll see. I'm especially bothered tonight.
The best was when you were laughing in that voice, and you couldn't hold it.
Whoops. Oopsies.
Heady callback. Anyways, back in the room with Boris and Hedrick.
Hedrick stands and gives Boris a big old hug.
Are you still standing there with your nipple ring hanging out while you give me this hug?
No, he's shaking his head.
I'm decent enough. I let you see from across the room, and then I pulled it down.
Boris, in that case, leans in for the hug, and then says, Filbert wants to go get some noodles at that new place. Do you mind if I go?
Oh, Actually, do you mind if I join you? I'm starving.
Yeah, why not? Boris links arms with Hedrick.
Wait. Before we go, I got something I want to show you. I thought of this the other night. And he pulls out this little leather satchel and pours it out onto like a coffee table. And it's a bunch of chopped up blue bubble gum. And he says, I call it Big Rogue Chew. Hey, you can grab as much or as little as you want. What do you think? I don't know. I thought maybe I might use it at the factory.
Boris grabs a piece, tosses it in her mouth.
It's blueberry.
Ooh.
My goodness, I love
She
it.
throws another piece in her pocket.
Oh, you can take
Excellent.
the whole thing, huh? I mean, shoot. All you gotta do is cut it up.
A new idea was born today. We're going to fast forward time a little bit. You know, you've collected Filbert, and you're at this new noodle joint. I believe, Phil, what did you say the name was?
It's a fantastic new noodle house with a stellar peanut curry soup called Forget About It.
Ah, yes, that's right. So as, you know, you approach Forget About It, and you can see there's this, like, big sign that says, like, you know, with, like, the little new and all, like, the, you know, the explosion lines and stuff like that, like the excitement lines, right? To just, like, draw your attention. And new, the most delicious peanut curry soup. And it's got the price underneath, you know, for, like, a few silver or whatever. And yeah, this place is serving up all different kinds of noodles, but you can see that people are, like, raving. And I mean, absolutely ranting and raving about this peanut curry soup. Like, it is like the most delicious thing they've ever had. You can even hear some people, like overhear some people talking, like, this is gonna sweep the nation.
I don't know about you two, but I'm excited.
We're gonna break it here. We're gonna cut the camera a little bit somewhere a little bit different. While the noodle enjoyment is happening. Jarrell, we're going to take you right from where you're stepping out of the portal. You
Oh,
find
God,
yourself...
Vecna.
Sorry. Yes, like Vecna by the scruff of his, like, whatever collar or whatever. Yes, you just, like, pushed, just, you know, went through with him.
Yep.
And you both stumble out into a room that has... It looks like one of the like throne rooms or whatever that you encountered in Mount Celestia, but it's constructed a bit differently. This looks like it wasn't necessarily constructed by maybe dwarves or something like that, but it's large. It's like this big cathedral room with just like a throne sitting at the top, some empty pews, you know, below the plinth where the steps walk up to where this throne is set. It's a gilded throne. There is sort of a crown of like a solar rays that sort of like adorn the top of this throne. But the room itself is empty. Like, it looks like there used to be like stained glass windows here, but they've just sort of been blackened. A scepter rests upon the throne, and you hear, you know, the voice of Valen within you speak and say, "Take your seat at the mantle of light, Jarrell, and begin your new journey. Guide those who have lost the light to find it once more. Be the force for good you are always meant to be. Your journey starts and ends here."
Do I have to do that before I kill Larlock? Can I kill Larlock first? I think I almost finished him.
Rest easy, my champion, for you have eons to complete your mission there. You have to think bigger than that now.
It is nice that we can still talk. Father, are you there as well?
Yes, Jarrell.
Awesome! This is the greatest. What do all of you say I should do with him? And Jarrell points his sword at Vecna.
you hear like there's sort of like a pregnant pause. It's like you can't really tell like when spirits are thinking, but they eventually you hear a response. Well, Jarrell, you are the mantle of justice. It is up to you to determine what punishment or atonement is required. This is your domain now. We are simply here as your witnesses, as the pillars of your power. You must make this decision now, Jarrell. Take the mantle and deal justice the way that you see fit.
Jarrell looks at Vecna.
Who's still like weak and injured and like beaten up and like
It's still, like,
absolutely
really evil.
Bent over at the waist, hands on his knees, like
One might even
panting.
say that he's in shambles.
So Jarrell looks at him and says, "You say you're good now, huh?"
Yeah, and you say you're not talking about me behind my back, right?
I'm not behind your back. I've been looking at you the entire time.
It's very obvious that you just said something to somebody that I can't frickin' hear.
Just because my friends don't like you doesn't mean I'm not here to help. Now, are you good or not?
Yes. Despite my worst judgment, despite everything I frickin' wanted to do, I got turned good. So yes, here I am. Good. Not
Gerald?
nice, but good.
Jarrell kind of like strokes his chin for a second. He has next to no power left. But as a player, I'm going to say Jarrell has one first level spell left.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, maybe now, but again, there is that throne.
Before Jarrell goes to pick it up, he will use Detect Evil and Good.
Of course he will. Of course he will. On brand till the day we end this fucking show, this campaign. He remains to be exactly who he is. Yes. You detect the utmost consecration upon this throne.
And yeah, Jarrell, I guess, will pick
as
up
well as one undead.
Oh, right, because it doesn't tell me if he's good or bad, really. It just tells me that he's undead and a god.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, Jarrell will look at the scepter for a little bit, look around again, and I guess trust that Valen is giving him good advice and picks it up.
Immediately, once you pick up the scepter and sort of, just sort of take your seat upon this throne, you feel almost like all of the knowledge of the universe like pass through your mind, like as just visions before your eyes. You see this expansive universe, this astral sea of solar systems and different planets and planes and like different people and species and creatures of all kinds, all looking for guidance because the gods are silent. You hear billions of prayers all at once. You hear the silent cries of those who are voiceless. You are and you feel this sort of like immense power as you sort of begin to sort of feel any sort of what kind of emotions are you feeling? Is it like empathy? Is it sadness? Like, what are you feeling? You know what I mean? As you're sort of like, essentially connected now to the thoughts of all the beings in the universe.
Right. And this is all happening about 3 minutes after I just fought two gods.
Also, I will say that the other effect of this is as you sit on this throne, it works like it's like essentially an eternal long rest.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
yeah. I
everything
guess,
you've ever wanted.
right. Right. Just permanent nap / also able to do awesome things. Yeah, I guess Jarrell is just kind of like he takes a seat. I don't think he intended to even sit on the throne yet.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Drops
Well, this
into
happens.
it.
This happens once you sit down, right? You
Yeah.
felt like compelled to sit. Is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Right. Right.
But if you were to stand up, the noise kind of stops. You still feel the power, but like that connectedness that you were feeling, right, begins to fade a little bit more. You can still kind of feel it in the backdrop, but it seems to be amplified when you've sat here.
Yeah, so Jarrell will sit for a second and he'll almost look like a little bit shocked and stand up and go, "Oh, that was a lot. Oh, quite a few things to do there."
But something else, like, like as you kind of stand up, right, this knowledge and all this power that you sort of feel, like this vision almost like crosses your mind of like, you see like sort of where the vacuums of power currently exist in the realms of the gods, right? And sort of these outer planes and in sort of like all the domains that exist, right? These primordial domains that require a guiding hand. You don't feel that you can reach all of them, but something like your intuition almost tells you that if Vecna truly is good, maybe, just maybe, he can be reformed to be the one that guides the lost souls of the dead to their final rest.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking for an undead good god.
You just kind of feel like this would be a good position. But something else flashes before your eyes too. It almost is like you can't tell where this is coming from. You don't know if it's coming from you, but it's like you almost see like this buddy cop film playing out where it's you and Vecna crossing the multiverse of just trying to hunt down the lich that eludes you and bring him to justice, as well as all of those who would seek to snuff out the light.
Yep, sounds about accurate.
But then, the moment passes and you're back just in the room with Vecna, who didn't see any of these things. What do you say?
Jarrell kind of looks at him for a second. Well, there's quite a bit to do. Let me take one more seat. And Jarrell will sit for another second, and he'll look for specifically if he can detect Zero or Quinn.
You can detect all of them. In fact, you can detect all of your friends and your former companions, exactly where they are, wherever they are, and what they're doing, what they're feeling. It's weird. It feels intrusive.
Jarrell steps up again and can't decide whether he should tell Quinn, but he feels like if he doesn't tell Quinn and he can just zero in on Quinn, it might be a terrible idea.
But you know that Zero is on the plane of Mechanus currently.
Yeah. Do I know where Quinn was?
Quinn is not on the prime material plane. You would have expected him to probably end up somewhere there. You can see that he's somewhere between the planes of air and water.
Clearly.
Speaking of Quinn.
Hello.
We cut to the elemental plane of air/water.
Is that where Daddy is?
You're on a ship. The grandest ship you've ever seen. One of your own design. You never you didn't build it, but you dreamed of it. And it's like whatever ship you've dreamed about, whatever ship of your dreams that you've ever envisioned in your mind, you are aboard it at its helm. What does it look like?
Steel. No, I'm just kidding. It is. I think it's of like super high quality wood, which I have no idea what high quality wood is. Maybe like cherry wood. Is that like high quality? I don't know.
We can all imagine what good wood
like
looks
high
like.
quality
Yes.
wood, right?
Yes.
Like maybe Phil can help me out. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Quinn knows what high quality wood is.
Sure, right? Right, like it smells of rich mahogany. Yeah. So it's just like this high, like really like sharp, kind of reddish brown, strong, sturdy wood. It's got kind of like almost like a merman on the front, kind of heading the charge with some sort of like lute or bow of some sort.
Maybe
like
a bow lute.
A bow lute. Ooh, I like it. So not only can it shoot arrows, but it can also play a melodic song. He's at the helm. He's got a huge purple kind of just almost like gown that he's wearing at the
purple sails.
The helm of the purple. Sure, yeah, purple sails with black or like onyx trim.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
With some gold tassels.
Yeah. That's the stuff right there.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
That's just, and like the sails are actually not really doing anything because I'm pretty much running the ship, right? Like I'm using my power to make the ship go, but the sails are beautiful. So there's that. There's plenty of people kind of hustle and bustling around, more or less waiting on me, not actually running the ship, but just like, bringing me my drink, my food, whatever I need to, have some sort of like fanning unit.
You're essentially like, you're almost being treated like a Greek god or like a demigod, like in this plane.
Sure.
Here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know what a Greek god is, but definitely a demigod.
But you know what I mean? Like as far as just like that like decadence and like, okay. Aboard the ship with you is the god, form of your father, but like, standing at a sort of in his humanoid form, right? Not in his gigantic superimposing form. And,
is he proud of me?
You're sharing a laugh together. You're drinking wine and regaling tales of all of your exploits, adventures, and successes. He's teaching you so many things about just what it means to be a god, because in fact he says something to the likes of, my boy, many may poke fun at, oh, what, you just control the winds and water, but let me tell you, without the winds, without water, life would be something different entirely, wouldn't it? Where is everyone's sense of adventure? You don't realize that the high seas also bring more than just life and breath. It also brings adventure, my boy, and that's something that you have a sense of in spades.
Thank you, Daddy.
I see great things for you, but you've done great things already. I could not be more proud. Honestly, I just couldn't be more proud.
Stop. But go on.
And the gush session, goes on for a while, and then suddenly, like the booming, you can almost like you feel the presence of something else, like here in this space. It doesn't feel sinister, but like you can like almost as if you are connected to this plane yourself now, Quinn. Like someone's here that's not from here.
Are you saying there was a boom after Daddy's gush session?
Well, there's going to be a booming sound. And Jarrell, your voice now projects onto this plane. What are you saying to Quinn?
Quinn, Captain, Lord, Dean, it is I, Jarrell.
Oh God, I can't get away from his voice. Daddy, can you hear that?
Yes, I can. Who are you, Jarrell? And what have you... Oh, wait a second. Nope, this is familiar. It appears we have a new god of light and good. Welcome to the fold, my friend. Wow, welcome to my domain. What brings you here to this humble god's domain and plane?
Just getting used to things, I suppose. Trying to find where all of my friends have gone, and then maybe where we're headed next. It's good to see you have your own domain, Quinn.
Yes, thank you.
It's not his quite yet. He still has much to learn, but I'm very proud of my boy. You can see that, you can tell that even you can see where the hubris and self-importance comes from.
No,
Quinn,
not at all. What are you talking about? What hubris? What?
Yes, I guess I'm trying to figure out where exactly we all stand, and hopefully we can do everything we can. It's a lot being on this throne here.
Yes, Jarrell. Whatever you need, the planes of wind and water will always be here for you to do what you need to do to adventure on.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. Let's see. Who next?
And then suddenly Jarrell's voice disappears, and you feel the presence is gone.
Jarrell, why don't you join us for a drink or a...
He's already gone.
Jarrell? Oh, well, at least his voice is gone.
And you carry on. The merriment carries on. So as the merriment continues on the demiplane of the air and water, we're going to cut the camera to Mechanus. Oh boy, are things orderly here? Zero, would you care to describe to us, I guess, what this realm looks like under your purview?
Well, when Zero walks back into the realm, it is under, let's say, a certain amount of chaos. It would look orderly to just about anybody else, but the keen-minded would know that in a system that was designed with a central leadership node, destroying that central leadership node tends to gum up the works a little bit. Zero has his work cut out for him.
Literally, as also the shattered corpse of the Primus floats, like sort of just in this space, in this plane.
And that's the first thing Zero stops, the mechanical little sigh, and looks up at the floating corpse of the Primus. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Looks over at 5 or 6 cube drones milling around. That too. And then another one, in another area, there are 2,048 duo drones in what would look like an antmill, just spiraling around each other, each following the other because they're all completely directionless. Yeah, and we're not even going to get into that. Okay. Primus. Well, single points of failure, probably a bad thing. That includes me. Looks at the square drones. Looks at the mess of duo drones. Okay, so square drones, I'm gonna need you to... Yes, you four. Yes, you. Yeah, stop gesturing at me. Just stop and listen.
Hello?
Yeah, you too. The four
Hello,
of you.
wait, hello, are you a friend? Are you a friend? Friend?
Okay, you're speaking out. Which one are you again?
I am 143,000 cubed.
Fantastic. A little less friend, a little more leader, but yeah, consider me a friend of all of Mechanus. And I'm
Yes,
here.
friend. Yes, friend will help.
Good. So, friend is going to help get things started. So I need, you and your 3 cohorts there. We're going to just head and kind of mechanically, like, pantomimes licking his finger, sticks it up in the air, turns about 36 degrees to the left, up and down. Okay, so about 2 kilometers that way, pointing about, 20 degrees up, at some completely indistinguishable part of the dome of the sky. 4 of you go there, and I'm going to need you to open a portal outside of Mechanus. And when I say outside of Mechanus, I don't mean to another realm. I mean just outside of Mechanus. And we're going to need it to be... Looks over at the floating corpse of the Primus. About that big.
Can I help? Beep.
One of the others pipes up.
Are you one of the 4 that I sent?
I don't know. My name is 1 plus square root of 5 all over 2. I would like to help. Beep.
Fantastic. Since you're not one of the 4, I'm going to need you to stay here and just be quadratic for a second. The other 4 of you, we're going to open that.
Mhm.
Ready?
Hey.
Go.
Yes,
Okay.
and they go off to do it to the best of their ability. Time will tell to see if that is something that is successfully achieved.
Fantastic. So you, quadratic over here. I'm sorry. I'm not good with numbers. Right
I am
now.
1 plus square root of 5 all over 2.
Fantastic. How are you feeling for a little bit of a leadership challenge today?
Golden baby.
Can we get a description?
That,
Just,
this is. Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, what are the types of Modrons again?
Are you a
What are
sphere?
the choices?
Think sphere,
He's
cube,
he's star
pyramid,
type. He's
shield
star
shaped.
type.
Star.
Isn't he star type?
Sure, why
Star
not?
type is one of them, right?
Mm-hmm. Star shaped.
He's star shaped, and gold.
Well, of course he is.
He's got a little propeller beanie on the point that is on the top.
Yeah, and you have no idea where that came from. That is not native to this plane.
Yeah, he just got it at some point. Little propeller beanie.
Zero gets a little closer, leans a little bit, kind of looks up and down, around over the shoulders and stuff. Okay, so we're using colloquialisms. We're taking things from outside the realm. You are the least Modron I've ever seen. And frankly, that's probably the most refreshing news I've had all day.
That's what makes me beep.
Great. So you, with
Boop.
all of your 5 things,
Squeeze.
you have 2,048 duo drones at your disposal. So I'm going to need you to take that thing up there,
Beep,
gestures at the corpse of the Primus, and you and the 2,048 duo drones are going to take that and push it out of the portal that those 4 cube drones just opened for us.
Yes.
All right. Sounds good. Hang on. Let me just make sure I have developed my voice for this character. Beep. It sounds a little too much like another one. Not anymore. Okay, here I am. I'm 1 plus square root of 5 over 2. All right, fellas.
Keep evolving.
Fellas, ladies, and dams, let's go get this hunk of corpse out of the sky.
Beep.
And to the best of their ability, they try their best. It takes a lot more time than a well-ordered, well-integrated group of Modrons would normally do this. You are a bit displeased, Zero, but it does happen nonetheless. And the corpse, the shattered corpse of the Primus is just sort of shoved out somewhere outside of Mechanus.
Excellent. While that's going on, Zero kind of looks up at what's going on and sighs. There's a Starman working over there. He thinks he's doing a good job, but I couldn't really care.
Excellent. We're gonna cut the camera again. This time,
Beep.
we cut to what looks like just the facade of a normal-looking home, right? The front door, some columns and a little archway that kind of like goes over the front of the house. There's like windows that look inside to what looks like a bright interior. But then the camera zooms out, and it was just a photo hanging on the wall of what appears to be a gigantic. What does it look like, John?
The building is kind of on like almost like a hill, or not over a hill, like a cliff overlooking a giant ocean or sea or something like that. And it's just a massive structure. There
Yeah,
is
not so much a house.
no, it's gigantic. And it has a clear water park with a Ferris wheel, gigantic tree, a whole bunch of smaller trees, but like one really huge tree, and just all sorts of rooms, and it looks like it might be a magical construction.
It sounds like a mix between, like Avatar and the Angry Beavers.
But it also is a functioning like gigantic house too. Like it just has this other stuff on it.
So yes, there's this. Yeah, this is gigantic home. What's going on here? What kind of goings are getting on?
Bunch of fucking nonsense, probably.
Probably.
Seems like this is Pregnart and Dr. Didu.
It sure is. And how are our illustrious duo doing?
Probably just fine. Pregnart is making. Oh, you know what he's making? Peanut curry soup.
Is it the most delicious peanut curry soup?
You fucking know it is. He's making a magical peanut curry soup that he is envisioning. Is sending out like the prototypical platonic curry peanut soup vibes throughout the fabric of the universe.
Like this is the standard for peanut curry soup. Like this is the de facto standard. We will not deviate.
Creating this bowl through space and time in all other bowls of soup.
Well, I mean, he the platonic ideal. That is the blueprint for all soups afterwards. Mm-hmm. They can all claim to be the best, but only this one truly is.
And he also used animate object. What is the spell? The spell is
animate objects.
Yeah, he used animate objects on Salt and Pepper Shaker to make a Mr. Salt. Mr. Pepper, Mrs. Salt. I don't know.
Could be both. Whoever they want.
Mix pepper and mix salt. They're non-binary salt and pepper shakers, and but they are married.
That's Dr. Pepper. Thank you very much. He didn't go to 8 years of schooling. Get the title wrong.
That's someone different.
Damn. I love that.
That's what Pregnart's doing.
Pregnart is just doing what he loves. It seems like, maybe, and obviously this water park was also built for him. He's got his own literal personal water park in whatever slice of the universe you guys have found yourselves in. What are you doing?
So there's a giant tree, there's a giant water park, but there's also like the house part of it. And in one of the main gigantic living rooms, Didu is just completely flopped out in an inflatable pool that is full of cocktail sausages. And he's just kind of rolling around in the sausages, eating them as he pleases.
Is he in goose form?
What?
Is he still in goose form?
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that Didu and Pregnart have both decided that even though they could change back, they don't want to. So...
Yeah. Because we found out in the last episode. Wait, what happened? I also love this element of what you said last time, John, is that apparently Dr. Didu has been holding this the entire time, and then just walking away,
it just like falls out of his pocket.
Just dropped this photo out of nowhere of a person named Art Pregan.
Arthur
Pregan.
Or something
Pregan, Art.
Yeah. And the former humanoid, Dr. Didu.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they've transformed somehow, but now they're just happy as clams, 2 peas in a pod.
Well, I love the camera sweeping over the inflatable pool of sausages. It then pans up to the wall, and you see that picture kind of like pinned to a little board.
No, we dropped it in another reality.
Oh, that's right. You lost it.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, we could cut the camera back to that place lost in time of this photo just sitting, like on the floor in front of the portal to the ideal future.
Jarrell might still have it.
Jarrell did pick it up.
Pregnart would definitely be like number 3 on Jarrell's phone call list too.
Yeah, actually, that's. I think that's how I'm gonna want to close this particular scene. Again, there's sort of this.
Wait. Can I interrupt again and just ask? Can we just make that canon? That's how Pragnar is like. That's
projecting
the mechanism. That's
Sure.
the mechanism by which Pragnar is, projecting
Sure.
the platonic ideal of the peanut curry soup.
Absolutely,
Nice.
absolutely. Why not? Is what I say.
Jarrell, I think this is getting pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as soon as you invoke the name of Jarrell, suddenly his voice just starts booming from the sky.
Jarrell, taste this. Dip a godly finger down in this little tub of soup.
Pregnant, is it you? Good. I don't know if I can taste things like this. Hold on. And what would it look like if Jarrell tried to materialize in human form on Pregnant's plate?
Your first attempt, the gigantic form of Jarrell appears over the horizon, blocking out the sun. The sun's rays themselves begin to sort of crown him in this massive halo of light. He is larger than life. And he's just and he looked with his arms outstretched, looking happily down at you.
And then one of his outstretched arms cranes inward, and a telescoping little pinky finger sort of loops down, and it gets from a huge diameter down to a smaller and smaller little pointy pinky, and it goes down and goes through the roof from the tasting hole that we've cut into the roof, and dips into the soup and comes back up. Right?
Yeah, sure. I was gonna try
I didn't
to
cut
be
that
smaller.
tasting hole through the roof for nothing.
God damn it. Yeah, sure. I mean, whatever. I let you guys build the scene here, so.
This is my ideal future, okay? There's a tasting hole in my roof.
Of course there
For
is.
God's-
Of course there is. Yes, because you
for
feed
God's
everyone.
use only.
Come on, Jarrell. Taste it.
Taste.
Taste it. Hashtag taste it.
Oh god, I feel like we just need to that's it. We can't. We've peaked now. We have to just end the episode. We can't do it. That's it. Thanks for joining us, Phil. Oh man, this is great. Okay, but yes, no, and you are able to taste the soup, Jarrell, and it is in fact the most delicious peanut curry soup you've ever had in your entire existence.
Yeah, go tell the universe about it.
I think I can do that.
I mean,
Is it good?
Pregnant,
You like it?
this is the best soup I've ever had, and I think it would be an injustice to not share this with the entire universe.
Is this a commercial? Whatever that is?
I feel like Jarrell, like whatever planet or plane of existence that Pregnant is living on, it is just Jarrell's gigantically advertising how good this soup is.
Which I
Wait,
should
can
probably
the
say,
tagline-
this is actually a great time to hear from our sponsor, Jarrell's Tasting Hole, coming to a universe near you.
whatever plane you're on, you can agree, it's just plain good.
And back to your regularly scheduled programming.
It's just plain good.
Listen,
I'm going home.
I don't think we have. I really think, like I said, I think we've peaked here. I'm pretty sure that I think we've gotten to everybody, right? That we've
No, we need
that
to
is
do
present.
Paradiddle.
Oh yeah, we haven't. That's right. Okay, sorry. I just, man, that was such a high note. But yes, that's true. Before we end this, so the tasting is happening. Jarrell's tasting hole has been explored. He really loves the soup, and now we're moving on. And cutting the camera
The tasting hole of God.
to Peridot. Peridot.
Yeah.
Where would you have stepped out into? I guess I want to kind of let you sort of set the scene here of what where would you have? Where would your essentially your soul have taken you? What is your ideal future?
Wait, what was that one place? The Gray Citadel?
Yes, yes. Your hometown.
Yeah.
Your like where you came
That
up.
one place. I know so much about my own backstory. Uh, so yeah, Paradell stepped into a bustling street in the Gray Citadel.
Yeah, and bustling it is because, if I recall, the intentions that you had sort of put forth into like your striking of the anvil was that of like excellent craftsmanship, of attention to detail, of like prosperity and advancement, and just like, you know, taking pride in one's creations and craft. The Gray Citadel looks a far cry from the one you grew up in. The amount of advancement that has taken place here is tremendous. I mean, the amount of people collaborating, working together, the projects that are currently in progress here, massive, you know, massive new structures are being built. The new ways have been created to sort of like, you know, use this mountain, like the inside of this mountain as well as the facade on the outside to like make the citadel even larger, a bastion of you know, for all, you know, in a home for all those who seek to find one. It has sort of become like the center of like almost like technological advancement, rivaling the Omega project itself as far as just the quality of work and the attention to detail that is being performed here, rather than the haphazard ways of the project, you know, and their advancement at all costs method. This is meticulous. This is careful. This is planned. All the architecture here is, I mean, to the finest detail. Think about like, I mean, if you were to essentially put a dwarven and gnomish spin on like the Renaissance architecture of like Europe, right? Like all of the intricate carvings on every piece of, you know, every piece of stone, right? There's all this intentional design, very deliberate patterns, very, you know, and that is just everywhere. It's ubiquitous across the Gray Citadel.
Lots of like Art Deco clockwork.
Sure, yeah.
I'm gonna call it.
And you know, you have your own personal forge here. It is massive. It is sort of, it's everything you'd hoped and dreamed of when it came to a forge. You feel a sense of home, a sense of belonging here, and everyone knows your name. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows your works. People are saying hello to you as you pass them on the street. You're getting like, you know, all these waves like, oh, Paradell, oh, it's so wonderful to see you. You're just, wow,
I'm just
what a
happy
guy.
to be here.
What a guy.
Just keep these streets free of shambles, and we're gonna be golden, baby.
Mm-hmm. Walking further through the streets, you're passing by like there's like an area where there's like, you know, because the Gray Citadel, not only is all the craftsmanship, you know, being used to better the Gray Citadel itself, but there's so many works here that are being produced and now sent to all over, like places all over Telduria. You can see actually right now there's a statue that's being constructed, and it looks like there's one that's being constructed of Quinn, but now there looks to be an even larger one being constructed for Jarrell.
Ah.
All right, the big statues and everything are all well and good, but I'd like to sort of zoom into the storefront.
Sure. Yes,
Paradell's
absolutely,
storage.
Absolutely. Further down the street.
You know, Paradell is sort of, you know, arranging some of his more finely crafted pieces on the wall, and he also is doing a lot more clockwork stuff because that's something he's explored in the recent years, and up on the shelf, just in front of a heavily sealed, tightly clockworked shut little box that has jagged points sticking out and just a tiny emblem of a paperclip. In front of that, you see some little clockwork automaton figures of some very familiar characters. We've got old Paradell himself. We've got Quinn. We've got Felix. We've got Hedrick and Jarrell and Boris. and Zero and Hoblet and Ezra and even the boy himself, beautiful Morton Mac.
Gorgeous Mort.
Gorgeous Mort.
AKA Gorgeous Mort.
The Gorge boy himself, Gorgeous Mort. And even one of Dr. Dedu, and even one of little old Pregnart. And they sort of are on a little track, hopping around, convening, doing little dances. And that's the way Paradol has memorialized his party, his former party members.
Yes, and you take you use this moment to just you take it in, right? All the memories start flooding your brain, but then suddenly a commotion starts outside. People are gasping in awe. People are like, "Oh, you have to come, you have to come and see this. This is crazy shit!" And just
What?
people shouting in the streets,
Bobby, what's going on out there, man?
"There's a god! There's a god here in Telduria!"
Oh man, wait, out on the street?
No, you gotta come with us. Just come with
All
me.
right, I'm coming with you.
And Paradol sort of reaches down and he tightens up these really interesting looking footwear pieces that it looks like he has really finely tuned himself and made work exactly the way he wants them to work. And he hits a little switch on the counter and the door flies open, and with one step he just bounds through the door 30 feet.
Boom. Yeah, and you just bound your way towards where everyone seems to be congregating, which is so the Grey Citadel. I described many moons ago that it's a city that's literally built into the side of a mountain, right? So on the side of this cliff face is the facade of the city, right, where there's little outlook points and things like that. But the rest of the city is actually inside the mountain itself, carved into the very stone. But so there's all these different viewing decks and whatnot, right, that overlook the plains below, and from the horizon, once again, blocking out the sun so that the rays of the sun protrude out from his sides like some golden halo of light, is the gigantic form of Jarrell. And he looks, as soon as he sees you and perceives you to, bounding your way to the viewing deck, you see he looks very excited.
Paradil, you have to try this soup.
And the gigantic,
brother.
And his gigantic hand extends down into the world. And that's what we're going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
Excellent.
Hey, everybody, listen, I said my piece last week, okay? I don't want to get too emotional or all of that tonight if I could help it, but I just want to say, first of all, Phil, thanks for joining us tonight to be part of this closeout. I'm glad you were around tonight to be able to do this.
What a blast.
Hell yeah, that song was amazing. Again, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been listening to this show. This is sort of a little where are they now? Some things to expect as far as what's happening next. We're going to probably do some sort of recap episode, not necessarily a recap, but we're just going to do a free form thing. We're just going to talk about the last 6.5 years of this show and some moments. We also have a mailbag episode that we plan to record maybe in a couple weeks. As of recording this episode, we've put out stuff. I'll be putting a post up on Twitter. By the time they say this, it'll probably already be there, just to remind folks of where they can reach us. But we have a thread in our Discord server in the episode talk channel. You can DM us on Twitter, email us at haplessheroes@gmail.com. But we want to hear your questions. Stuff that you're burning questions about the show, the last 6.5 years, whatever it is, right? Send them to us through those methods. And we're going to record an episode just depending on how many questions we'll get, we're just going to try to get through as many as we can. We'll pick some of the best ones to make sure, we'll kind of front load them just in case, we have to do it over 2 episodes. Who knows? But we want to answer your questions and interact with you. And then after that, we plan to do a lot of writing. There might be some one-offs here and there that we might, record and put out there. But, we're going to take some time to establish the foundation for what our next campaign is going to be. We will be still active on Discord and all of our social media stuff. We'll be keeping you informed of our progress and kind of when things are, kicking off again. But we just want to thank all of you for your support. And so with that, I just want to say, I guess I want to open it up to the team if there's any other things they want to express before I tell the people what they could do if they really like us. I know, Phil, you haven't been here for a bit. I'm not sure if you wanted to say a few words.
This has been incredible. To be a part of something that's been going on like long before I started, and then to go for such a long run on one campaign. Beautiful job, both Fran and Dave. And thank you so much to everyone who's listened. This has been just as fun to do as it is to listen to, and I love listening to it. So
It might
That's
be
our
more
goal.
thank you.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I guess, hey, if you like us, you could find us on the internet. Just look at Twitter, Instagram, and all those places, for Hapless Heroes or Hapless Heroes Podcast. You can we also have like sticky posts and pin posts, and also like a link in our show notes to our Discord server. So just an invite link to our chat server where we spend the majority of our time actually interacting with our community. Like I said, we have a whole bunch of different discussion channels in there, as well as right now we have a temporary thread set up for all your mailbag questions. We also have like a 5-star channel on there, which I'll tell you about in a sec. But it's just a great place. Come and join the conversation. We have a wonderful community there. It seems like a whole bunch of really nice folks. All of you have said such wonderful. I was reading through some of your comments. For those of you who already listened to the episode prior to this, we really appreciate all the wonderful things you've said. We're glad that we've been able to entertain you in this kind of way, and that you really have been so receptive to it. So without you, our audience, right, we'd just be talking into the void. So thank you, all of you, again for listening. Please be a part of our Discord server. It's awesome. Also, we'd love it if you left us a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice. It just helps us, become more visible. And we also just like reading the nice things you have to say about us, like I just said. We also have a 5-star channel in that Discord server, like I had said, where if you, don't have a podcast service that allows you to leave reviews, you can still say some nice things about us. We'll talk about it on air and acknowledge you as the 5-star human you are, and it's kind of a cool little thing that we do. But now, if you really, really, really like us, we also have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/haplessheroes. Tons of behind-the-scenes audio and like extra content that we've just recorded over the course of the last 6.5 years, whether it's bloopers or these little between two episodes things that we've been doing, when like Dave has to step away, or like, other things happen where we're just like, hey, we have some time to riff. Let's just like kind of talk about a random thing and do it. And it's kind of great. So like it's all kind of the price of a cup of coffee every month. So like, if it seems like it's worth
Dennis Miller?
Your money, then you should join our Patreon because it's pretty cool. And we thank you all for your support. Like I said, like we're not done, so like it's only gonna be a matter of time before we're back on the airwaves full time again and doing this thing that you all know and love and that we all love.
Hey, babe, and if you really like us,
Okay, Spudley.
if you like us,
Okay.
if you like us right now, you like us, Sally Field and the whole deal. Go watch a sunset, and if it happens to be just perfectly cloudy, where you do see those rays peeking out from behind the clouds and fanning out in such a fashion, make sure you're in a well-populated area and say, "Oh my, look at those occidental crepuscular rays." And make sure you just spread both those two words around, because I like the word occidental and I like the word crepuscular. And I think more people should.
Is it contagious?
Contagious crepuscular rays?
Yeah. Well, the ocular ones, or what was it? Occidental.
Occidental.
Yeah. It sounds like an STD, and I'm just worried.
Occidental just means westward.
I heard about it.
No, I understand.
On the Hapless
West
Heroes.
It
Orient.
still sounds like an STD.
So,
Well-
hey, listen, everybody. Zach's just pleading to let's just make occidental and crepuscular like a thing. Like just
totally
like
doable.
bring those words back. Add them to your vernacular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially crepuscular. I like
Especially
crepuscular a
crepuscular.
lot.
Sounds like it oozes. I'm not into it.
No, it's
No
good.
thanks.
Well, it's like if light was oozing, so it's a lot nicer.
Yes.
and geometric.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Sure.
anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and outro my cast again for the last time, I guess. Shit. I just that kind of just hit me right now.
No, we'll be back next week.
Yeah, but like
We'll have
this
something.
this
Same-
cast of characters.
Same
I'm
hapless
saying.
time, same hapless channel.
But I guess for the last time though, Dave playing absolute integer 0.
Everyone, it's been a great time. And if there's a mimic in your workshop, don't be alarmed.
Mike, as the illustrious and probably future god, Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
You have not heard the last from me. Buy my books.
Nicole, as Boris the Butcher.
I cast greater invisibility on myself.
Zach, as Peridot Lincolnwoods and Pregnart.
Goodbye.
Phil, as Hedrick the Entertainer.
Well, this show must not go on, sadly, but it sure has a very big pleasure of mine. And I'll see you on the other side.
And John, as Lord Jarrell the Light and Dr. Dedu.
Until next time.
And I'm Francesco. I've been your host and DM.
And it's been a pleasure DMing for you this whole time. And we'll see you next week.
Wow, who's that, Felix?
Goodbye now.
I thought you were dead.
Bye.
Bye.
Hashtag tasting hole. Hashtag taste it.
Taste it.
Taste it.